So the production itself, as I mentioned last week, is Latin jazz, which is not my forte by any means, but I do love it. In fact, I heard a girl play a bossa last week. And if anybody's ever tried to play Latin jazz, if you're not from a Latin country and it's kind of not, once again, not in your DNA, I think it is in their DNA, you have to really work on it, right? In my opinion, you do. I've had to. So, but I'm not even sure why I wanted to do Latin for this one. It just kind of the way it came out. It was just clear as one of those choices I didn't question. And it might be because the area that I'm from is very Latin influence, even though my family is not Latin. We're actually French. Hence why I have trouble with the rhythm on Latin jazz. But the area that I'm from is very Latin influence. And especially when I travel other places, I took it for granted growing up here. But when you travel other places and you come back, you recognize that, how close we really are to Mexico. And there's been a large influence in my life, of the Latin culture, which I'm thankful for. And so maybe that's why. And I used an E piano for the main sound. And let's see, what do I really want to say about the production? I don't want to say much more about the production. It's something that, it had some interesting bass. I will say that. I really love what I did with the bass line, and I like how it goes into the bridge. Doon, 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 doon. And that wasn't something I heard originally in the song when I wrote it. It was something that came out with playing with the production, which I talked a lot last week about how much I enjoy producing, self-producing, the joy of self-producing and the ideas that come out from that. So, and then I also really like the bridge. And if you're not familiar what bridges are, apparently bridges is becoming less of a common thing to be in songs, especially if you're doing contemporary Christian. I'm noticing there's less and less bridges. In certain pop songs, there's less and less bridges. I was having a discussion with an incredible musician about that. I'll talk more about him later today, but when he pointed that out, I thought about it, but the bridge is really, I love a bridge in a song because it's like you've got the verses that are sort of repeating. They're giving a story, or they're telling you what the song is about, but they're giving you a variety of it. And then you get to the chorus, and that's your hook, right? That's repeated 2 or 3 times, 4 times in the song. And that's really the message of the song. But the bridge is a place where you can transcend. In reality, you can step out of the music, right? And even though I love pop, and even though I grew up on pop, I always did love it when a song would sort of change for a little while and then go back into itself, right? And the bridge is that opportunity, musically speaking, to step out a little bit and do something different, but how it matches to the rest of the song is interesting and fun creatively. And then the same thing with the lyrics. Like, you want to continue to reiterate your point with the bridge, but you're either transcending it, or sometimes you're giving the opposite perspective of it. You can do so many things with a bridge, and this one in particular I really like because the song itself, just to give you an idea, the verses are like a boomerang, I'm home again, my trajectory was always going to be a return to this. And I'm talking about, even though it was absolutely a surprise to be returned home the way I was, in another sense it felt like destiny, like I was meant to return home at this time, and that it was always going to happen that way. And I love that feeling. But it was also like, I was also a totally different person, right? That's what the first verse is about. Like, I'm also returning home, having lived so long in a different world where nobody even reacted to me in many of the ways that my family did, that it felt like I was coming home as a different person. I'm sure many of us can relate to that. And then, the chorus is, I'll redeem my line, I'll redeem my kind, and boomerang back to life. So I think that's a very, very powerful line. And oftentimes for me, when I write a chorus, it is a bit of an affirmation or a mantra, right? A lot of times I've spoken about this, the power of coupling, where you're wanting to focus your mind with music as an ability to help you get there. So I was really hoping to redeem my line and redeem my kind and boomerang back to life, meaning like I would return to what I was previously doing, which I never had actually planned to leave, other than COVID and kind of, the interruption we all experienced at that point. So I wanted to boomerang back to life. Second verse is boomerang, I'm home again. And I don't want to share all the pain and fault, all the pain and blame. I changed that. How we got it so wrong, caring more about fitting in the world than loving well. We were caught and bound, trapped by the world. So this is a common thing in a lot of my music, was just trying to explore when I was coming aware and awake at that time at how often I had been chasing things in the world that I just no longer valued. And recognizing that, in many of my closest and most personal relationships, we weren't wise enough to see through some of that stuff. And it absolutely affected us. So I was going to redeem my line and redeem my kind and boomerang back to life. And then I get to the bridge. And I love this bridge. We can love each other as best we can. We can make room for love to grow. We can heal the years of hidden love. And hidden love is a really powerful statement to me, because I've spent a lot of my life recognizing that, especially men in my life, were unable to really express to me how they felt, but I absolutely felt like they did love me. I felt the love was there. It just wasn't expressed. So I love this line. We can heal the years of hidden love. And how often do we hide our love from each other because we're afraid, right? And then I said, we can heal our family line. So I love this bridge. Now, I will say that 4 years later, after writing this bridge, things did not turn out exactly the way I thought with that. I feel so much more optimistic when I wrote that. But this goes back to my original message that I've been talking about in this show, and the idea of being obedient, and that it's not about our agenda. It's not. Oftentimes when we put our prayer and our attention out there, we have to have the humility to allow it to unfold the way it's going to unfold. And in that way, it will be even better, and we will be surprised. So I'm still in the midst of all of this. I don't yet know. Sorry, this keeps happening. I don't yet know how all of this is going to turn out. But I'm still in the midst of it, and this song is going to comfort and continue.